E-gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day 2 of the CIS Minor. This is Group B. We're going to be kicking things off with Team Spirit versus QB.Fire. Later on today, we have Spartak and Pro 100, and I'm actually really excited for this group. Joining me today will be Harry, and, well, out of all the teams that we got, Team Spirit, QB.Fire, Pro 100, Spartak, who are you looking at in this group?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I'm looking at Team Spirit. You know, I've always been a fan of these guys when it comes to kind of the CIS regional teams, and then you know, with the recent addition of Starix, who has worked wonders in the past, you know, replacing Kabakin of all people. You know, arguably one of the weaker players on Team Spirit, or weakest. I would say that was a bit of a reoccurring trend towards the end when they did finally make the decision to get rid of him. I just think it's going to make them that much of a stronger unit. There's a lot of work that needed to be done, and I feel like if anyone was going to make, you know, them put that work in, it would be Starix.
Yeah, I'm actually, this group I think is going to be really interesting, because Pro 100, obviously the team that Zeus has sort of been backing, and I'm excited to see how they're actually going to come out of the blocks, how they'll perform in this sort of minor. As you said, Team Spirit, I'm a little bit of a QB.Fire fan as well, because I've pretty much been casting quick since I started casting.
I don't like QB.Fire, and do you know why? Because they have that one guy called It's Mine.
Yeah, no, I get
His name just ruins
my fandom of them is pretty much based around one player, though. So it's not so much that I'm just like, yeah, I love the name Undo and It's Mine, or no. But I do want to see them do well, because, well, Lithuanian Counter-Strike, that's what I'm looking at. Either way, we're into the pistol. Team Spirit will be starting on the CT side, and this map is one that they have been playing, well, before Starix. And speaking of Starix, he's just spotted everybody over at A-Long.
There he's got to get the hell out of there. He does get caught on the retreat. Undo going to be swift to execute him, so they're going to be able to find that opening frag. Now rotating Sotfik on round to join the rest of the team up at the A-bomb site. Team is going to be pushing up aggressively through B, but he actually hears the players rotating back round and tries to do some damage, but it's going to be caught in that rotate with the bomb. QB.Fire yet to lose anyone. Sotfik and Coldy still alive and kicking here for Team Spirit. They make the rotate back over towards B, and it is going to be the wrong call to make, as we're more than aware of. QB.Fire now pushing out through mid up towards the A-bomb site. Coldy and Sotfik, they have to rotate back it to try and win this one out.
Going for a little bit of a gamble, and unfortunately it doesn't look like that gamble has paid off at all. Sotfik has a kit. That's sort of the only thing that's really going his way at this point, as there's 4 members of QB.Fire waiting on the other side, and, well, Quick will be there to finish things off. So round 1 goes to QB.Fire, and yeah, I'm the one thing about this map I'm looking for, at least, okay, tech pause, perfect, is how Team Spirit are actually going to be playing on this map, because historically, I would say that this is their best map. I think with the sort of Davkos setup, they had the little rundown, like the strategy, which I saw quite a lot. I think it was Dima used to just run down that right-hand side when coming out of Plat, and then they'd set up Davkos with the AWP, and they had this nice little setup, but a lot of that was based off basic strategies and aggression. Now, obviously, Starix on this map has been working with Na'Vi for quite a while. It was one of their best maps for quite a long time, so I'm looking forward to see what he can actually add in to their sort of strategy, and maybe even sort of create a new, well, almost evolution of this map for them. But the first time they played it, at least in the qualification, was the map they lost versus K29, so maybe it's not there yet. We'll have to wait and see. In this round at least, they're actually only going to be doing this sort of half force buy. We've seen this from a few teams so far in this qualification, where they're basically saving a little bit of money. Maybe for an AWP, probably on Davkos that's the case, but just extra utility on some of the other players. We'll have a couple with some armor. Could be clashing in, and actually, well, it looked like it could go alright. All of them trying to fight the players in drop, but it's going to be a 1-for-3 trade. Coldy and Davkos are the last two left alive. A deadly duo with the Deegs, but by the looks of things, they may have got this wrong again, as seems to be aggression coming out towards that A site. Davkos will go rotating and doesn't spot anybody out, and because of that, he's going to go back again.
And that is going to be the wrong call to make now. Coldy and Davkos, both players over here towards B with Deagles to try and rotate back in towards the A-bomb site. Davkos is going to be the first man on the scene, but he will be smoked off, and okay, through the smoke, down goes Quick. He does put it into a 2-on-3. The AK going to be retrieved now by Fnatic Rocker and Coldy. It's going to go down. Davkos hears his teammate get annihilated. Just out to his left there. The push comes in from Undo, and it will take him down. And that's QB.Fire to go ahead and maintain the advantage. Keep that second round up in their anti-eco and win that one out. But, I mean, ultimately, a little bit of damage done. They do lose 2 players in the process. The Deegs do reign in some death. Was that Starix and Davkos to pick those ones up in that round. And it looks like we're going to see a couple of these players that didn't invest as much previously opt to buy up into this a little bit more. Looks like it's just going to be Coldy who takes that. It is going to be the Deagle up on him. Everyone else sticking with the vanilla pistols. So not expecting too much out of this round. A little bit of damage would be nice. Albina going to be the Mac Daddy of QB.Fire, making his way over towards drop down and over towards this B-bomb site. Starix is alone up towards A. 3 players for QB.Fire at this B-bomb site, ready to push on in. Just see if they can get a feel for this site.
Yeah, in these sort of rounds, you just want to be sending in a Mac-10, pretty much. Just send it in as bait. If you lose it, fine. If he gets 1 or 2 kills, he's pretty much paid for the weapon itself, so you don't want to be pushing into this stack. And you can already see them clearing out sort of positions over towards that A site. Long is going to be taken by the UMP. Again, if you lose that weapon, not the end of the world. Whereas one of these rifles, you really don't want to be having that extra cost early into the game. Now you can see there's still 4 CT players on this B site, so Barbin is just going to have the job of making sure that the rest of his teammates with the AKs don't go down. Only Starix on the site shouldn't get anything done, and well, Quick will take him down. And that's it, really. There shouldn't be any extra damage to come in. This Mac-10 can look to make some extra cash and pretty much pays for itself. Actually going to throw it away, which I think is completely pointless, because nobody over on that CT side is going to be trying to save a Mac-10. But, hey, each to their own. Barbina clearly... Okay. Davkos really wants that extra money. They're actually going to boost for it. That's interesting. That didn't last long.
The Mac-10 is cursed, and whoever has it has a life expectancy of 10 seconds. Yeah. Now we're looking at Coldy in the 1v4 with the Deeg, trying to do some more damage, but I think he's just going to opt to hold on to it. Doesn't want to get out of these SMGs. Looking like he might go for a late peek, but the door's going to be watched by Fnatic Rocker, who actually will look away at the wrong time, but no, somehow Coldy not spotting him out there. QB.Fire only be able to pick up that 3rd round. They do lose 1 player in the process, but it was only Albina on the Mac-10. So by coming in this round from Spirit, it's going to be 4 rifles in play. The AWP up on Davkos because he saved in that first force buy round. They do have enough to get him the AWP with some armor behind it.
Yeah,
good bit of utility as well.
Yeah, extra utility because of the save. Pretty default start though to this round by the T side. Take a little bit of presence trying to look into drop. Obviously a huge point of contention in this. Trying to bait out a few sound cues. Balbina just jumping above because you can occasionally make it sound like you've dropped down. Although I feel like most players can normally tell if you have or not by taking a little peek. Starix will spot 2 players and potentially even the bomb. I don't know whether he got eyes on it as of yet. They haven't rotated anybody over, so maybe just the bait. Davkos will go for the peek, but it's quickly traded out. That AWP does not last very long. They're already rotating a second player over now. I'm waiting to see whether or not the T side will actually fully dedicate to this site, because a lot of the time with Cobble, you can very easily play the rotations, and considering they've moved, they've basically moved every player over one position. So they've moved Dima into drop, and then a second player over towards A. If they were to hit the B site now, they'd have a massive advantage, just because there's only one player actually there. Decent position, it has to be said, but they're going into A, and already both players will go down. Nice entries coming in from Balbina and Undo. Dima trying his best to find something back into the round, but it's that same smoke again. Every time they lose A, that smoke is almost just the end of the round. It's the denial of any further push into the site. Coldy, 1 versus 3. Couple of players are low, but he doesn't have a kit, and only an HE, not really the best grenade to have. In fact, other than the decoy, probably the worst grenade to have in this sort of situation.
Yeah, I mean, QB.Fire, they're looking fantastic at the minute. Team Spirit, a team which is normally, extremely good on Cobble. Well, it's their home map. It's the one that, like you said, arguably is probably their best. And it's one we've seen them play and went up against, a lot of kind of, I would say teams even perhaps above their caliber, perhaps, on this map. And now QB.Fire, they're going to go ahead and take it 4-0 with really most of the players on Spirit is still yet to accomplish anything. And a lot of that falls onto Undo. He's currently 8-0 for QB.Fire. Really trying to have the strong performance early on, get them into the winners bracket. And, well, we are going to be seeing that oh, cheeky.
Hello.
Just getting some intel on this game. And yeah, no, I just got a message actually from Starix himself saying that they're not feeling it right now. But that's fine. Hopefully they are going to be picking things up. You can see they bought us some Deagles. The 5-7 is all going to be on Dima. Coldy saving that M4 from the previous round. But I don't know, they're just looking very vulnerable right now. And it's Team Spirit on Cobble that I'm not used to seeing.
Yeah, I do feel like a lot of their success comes on the T side of this map. So I'm not anywhere near worried as of yet. The only problem is, recently at least, this map has become a lot less T-sided. We used to see the days where you could see someone like Na'Vi get 4 rounds on the CT side and still feel confident that they would win the map. Nowadays, I wouldn't feel so confident anyway. Na'Vi definitely not as a force. They're still hugely talented individually, but we haven't seen them win a tournament or come close in quite a while. Now, that rifle doing early damage to Bissmire, but hasn't really seen too much as of yet. And it's sort of coming down to that more gamble stage. You can see Starix over towards that A site, taking some peeks, trying to find out information, because in these sort of rounds, you've got to take gambles. Cobble's already difficult enough in terms of finding out information, but when you're limited on what you have, limited in utility, and by limited, I mean they have none, they really have to go and try and find something so they can actually stack the correct site. And even having 3 players over towards A is a little bit of a stack. It was a gamble based on where they went previously. Dima, hello, does quite a bit of damage, making things a little bit easier. The rifle's still in play. Of course, one with the Deeg as well. It's looking a little bit more possible. Coldy, come on. He's got himself another with that rifle. And now getting back to this 2 versus 2, but only Deagles remain.
Yeah, and it all falls on the Starix, the latest addition to Team Spirit. There's very little time left, and the bomb is going to go down. And now Starix charging on in. Fnarock is going to go ahead and shut that one down. Doesn't want to give him any opportunity to try and turn that into a one-on-one. Watches out for his team at Balbina and wins out that 5th round for QB.Fire. Now Team Spirit are going to find themselves buying up into this one. They have got enough money. The AWP going to be up on Davkos. They have a nice bit of utility up behind them as well. So they are going to be coming into this with, probably the best buy we've seen them have so far. And over on the side of QB.Fire, money is going to be building up. Buying into this round, not going to be too much of an issue. They did lose 3 players in that previous round, though. So a little bit costly. They didn't earn any money from it. But they did lose a little bit. But they're going to be making their way over towards B early on. Everyone over here towards this B bomb site. 3 players here for Team Spirit. You can see that you've got Sophic watching the potential aggression in from drop. Playing it up close to Broken Wall. It's going to be Dima, and there's players right next to him. Over in the cubby, it's going to be Coldy holding the angle. Has this crossfire set up with Dima, but it does leave me a little bit open to go down early on as he pushes up over towards platform, taking the engagements on the stairs. They have to be careful because the trade potential isn't going to really be there if Coldy does peek on out. Dima able to just roast it. Bissmire in the fire and flames, but the trade, it does come in swiftly, or the equalizer at least, as Coldy goes down. That peek from platform going to be punished by the AWPer of QB.Fire. And it looks like they're going to turn their attention instead over here towards drop. Sophic is here alone. Trying to hold the angle. He comes out and he's going to fall at the first hurdle. Does do a decent bit of damage onto Balbina. Tags him for 99. The bomb will be picked up. 50 seconds left. Rocket going to go ahead and extend that advantage even more. And now it's a 1 Dima within the B-bomb site to hold this back. Davkos rotating around. Dima does get 1. He has to buy more time. He's going to do exactly that. Gets 2, gets 3. Dima's going to go ahead and make this one more than possible, as now it all falls in the Balbina, and Dima's going to go ahead and get the ace within that B-bomb site. Fantastic play to put Team Spirit back in this one.
Yeah, that was very, very smart. Just with the pre-fire onto the player pushing out on plat. Very nice stuff coming out from Dima. And, well, now they need to convert that. They need to use that as sort of a platform to build off of, because thus far, at least the rest of the team, we haven't seen anything. Like, we saw aggressive repeats unnecessarily. Like, they get the first kill in that round, or Dima does, I suppose. I'm saying they. And then you automatically see a repeat come out against an AWP. Just badness. Unnecessary. And when you have that man advantage, you just don't want to be doing that. Don't give them away back into the round. Davkos, AWP, goes for the timing shot. Not going to be caught, able to just fade away. Interested by the fact that the bomb and one other player currently relies alone over towards that B site. So these 3 players over towards A just trying to clear things out, but it means if there's too much aggression, they could actually lose that bomb. That could be quite problematic. It has to be said, so far QB.Fire have had much more love over towards this A site. I suppose the only round they've lost has been on B, and on A they just seem to be getting the picks the majority of the time, but Davkos playing further back, a much more passive role. I'm feeling a little more confident in their setup, because one of the main reasons they lost the previous round was because he went for a 1-for-1 trade, and if you're investing that much money into a player, into an AWP, a 1-for-1 trade really isn't enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I was going to say. I much prefer this setup. Now, usually, we're used to seeing Davkos take it a little bit more aggressively, but QB.Fire, they've been punishing for that time and time again. And as you said, when you're investing as much as the AWP up on Davkos, as well as all the utility up behind it, it does make sense for him to take it more passively. Anyway, the pushback's been coming in over towards B. Quick, and just drop out Starix over a minute. Davkos can't get the trade. At this point, you can see QB.Fire, they've grinded to a hole. They know they don't need to fully commit this, but there's only 20 seconds left, so they have to go in. He's going to find the first and the second. He's going to try to pick up another round single-handedly, and he's just gone and done it. 3 frags for him. He's making it look easy. And while he's on the triple kill, it all falls onto Quick. There's only 8 seconds left, so not going to be able to get this round. And Dima's going to go hunting. He wants to try and get 4. That'd be 9 kills in 2 rounds. I mean, 8 kills in 2 rounds is just as impressive. I mean, Dima at this point almost looking like he's smurfing in amongst these guys. His teammate's not doing too great, but he just slays the enemy anyway. And it will be them now to pick themselves up a second round. The economy at QB.Fire starting to become impeded as a result of losing these couple back-to-back. You can see this is really the last buy they can afford to get, at least for the next couple of rounds. So if they do lose this, Team Spirit will be represented with the opportunity to try and pull this back to a much more even scoreline.
Yeah, Dima really using that sort of crev towards the back. Davkos, there you go. You wanted to see some aggression out from him. This time he's moved completely over towards that B side, leaving Starix as the lone player on A. I think the T side know this as well, as they quickly start moving back towards that A side of the map. But Davkos is gone. He's already back. Rotated away. Just went for an early pick. Could have been down to where he actually spawned as well. Dynamic AWPer, to say the least. And that early man advantage is going to be massive for them. Now they've just got to look to hold on to it as we see the T's slowly sneaking through. Now the peek coming out from Dima over towards Plaque. Give them all the information. I think it's going to be a little bit late. Starix has done exactly what he needed to do, however. Just fades away, finds that first pick, which is still going to be coming in from the T's, but they're being picked apart. Flawless round for Team Spirit. Money going to be made. And as you said, the T's are going to have problems, and so is Balbina, as he fails to spell the word pause.
Pues.
Pues. That sounds
Pues.
cooler,
Oh, that one's,
careful.
yeah, that one's a little bit close to another word that we know. Yeah, no, it is going to be Team Spirit, as you said, picking that round up. The pause going to be called in, and I like this from QB.Fire. They've lost 3 rounds consecutively, so they know that something needs to change, and they're taking this pause very early. I mean, they're not going to be discussing so much as to what to do in this round. It's all going to be how the future rounds are affected when they do have money up behind. And this one's just gonna be getting a feel for the setup for the setup from Team Spirit. Try and figure out how they are playing this, what they've changed. You know, I think, you know, we've seen a mixture of a change in setup, not having Davcost aggressive over towards long, for example. Now we see that Coldy Dima set up over towards platform, which has been working out really well in the B-bomb site. You know, the setup has changed quite a bit, but also they are just kind of hitting their shots. The confidence now picking up for Team Spirit. They were looking a little bit afraid before. But the buy in this round for QB.Fire consists of some deagles, a little bit of armor as well up behind them, 2 players on PT-50s, but then they also have flashes to try and execute out on one of these sites. So in all honesty, the buy does have a decent bit of firepower behind it. Team Spirit making the right decision to leave Davcost more passively back up towards A. Has Starix here to help him out as the bomb currently resides over mid, and Bissmire goes down over towards the B-bomb site. They already have that man advantage, and they're already eliminating QB.Fire's options early on.
Team members trying to take the challenge over towards long. Starix tapping away. Has to be careful. These little pre-fires. Davcost's going to get tagged. And actually, Undo's going to take his head clean off. Already pushing towards that side, looking to swarm the players. Undo is actually going to get another one with the deagle, leaving Dima and Starix to defend quick. He's going to get a double as well. Only Coldy left, and somehow the deagles are enough. Quick and Undo. Massive round from them. 6-3. And Team Spirit, after finally looking like they built up some composure, just get destroyed by the deagles.
What is this madness, Tom?
You sound genuinely disgusted.
Why does nothing ever follow the trend like it's meant to? I'll tell you why. Because we're living in a simulation. It is going to be the case, though, of that. Davcost and Starix once again over towards the A-bomb side. This time they're going to try and counteract the plays with a bit of aggression over towards long. Now, this hasn't really been working out for them in the last couple of rounds. And as they fall on back, they might get caught off as the players already pushing up through mid could catch these guys off guard. They're going to loop around over towards long. And I mean, you can already see Spirit looking a little bit displaced out towards the A-bomb site. They're desperately trying to take up positions, which makes sense. Desperately trying to get into the right sort of angles to hold this down. The issue I'm seeing right now is that Davcost is looking very exposed to this peek out from long. He's going to be relying very heavily on Starix to pick this one up. And if he loses this opening duel, Davcost's going to be in a spot of bother. Has to turn his attention away from mid and either, you know, quickly rotate into this site over towards SWAT or fall back. And that's going to relinquish the full control of the A-bomb site. But luckily enough for him, he finds that opening frag on Fnatic Rock and now falls on back over towards SWAT. So he's already back in this site. Already in a great position. And that kind of fixes the problems we could have seen arise from this setup. So now we've got Starix waiting for the push out from long. Davcost's going to reposition to try and deal with Quick over in mid. It's going to be missing a couple of shots, though. The push now coming from the rest of QB.Fire up through long. It's all eyes on Starix to try and hold this back.
Maybe able to get the first, the second looking possible as well. The push will come in from Quick, spots one by the door, but isn't able to connect the shot. And now all the rotations are coming in. Balbina will be able to get one. Just not looking too good at the moment. They're unable to find these picks. Quick, though. It's just the Deegs. He doesn't even need the orb. This is ridiculous. The pistol doing far more, but Coldy is still here. There's only 9 seconds, and he's going to clean up the round. Nice from him. Comes in, retakes in the last few seconds. But damn, did that get close, especially considering what? There was 4 players there for the CT side when that push came in. Shouldn't be able to get away with that much.
See, fun fact, Tom, I used to call Undo, Undo.
Oh, God.
Yeah, don't know how I managed that one, but I did realize that it was just the word undo.
It sounds like he's made a mistake. It's like, undo, undo.
Yeah, so ignoring your just terrible jokes. It's too early for you to try and crack wise.
So I should undo.
Yeah, it is going to be... Oh, already Dima going down over here towards the B-bomb side. I think they could just stem into a fairly quick play over here towards B. They're taking down, you know, the best player for Spirit right now, the one who has been that problem for them in the B-bomb side. And as they find Coldy, it's going to be extended that much more. Now looking to push on in. Sopfix up close. He's got himself an M4, but he's got to try and get a couple of frags. If he goes down, this B-bomb side is completely left open. And oh, he's going to fall as well. So now it's all on Starix and Davcost. UMP and a Famous between them. Davcost facing off with Undo. over here towards drop will be forced back, and well, they have both rotated around. They are going to get here before that bomb goes down, but ultimately in the 2v5 with a player up in drop as well to, you know, stop the rotate coming on in, they're just going to opt to save and fall on back over here towards A, rotate up through mid and try and hold on to these weapons.
Dude doesn't like that idea, but he'll go down. Only having a deagle, so not too much of a problem. Starik's still going to be peeking around the corner, and Barbina will finish off one, but may not know that there's still a second player waiting. Davkos, however, rattling off a couple of shots. Actually give away his position, but it's just going to fade back. Problem now is the CT side are actually the ones who don't have any money. They've ended up in a sort of one and done. That was a pretty big force spike coming out from QB.Fire. Not really too much in terms of weaponry, but the AWP on Quick actually switching hands from Fnatt Rocker. Now, the Quick did used to AWP quite a bit in the past, but I think he literally only picked that up for this round, and you can see he's just dropped it back to Fnatt. May have been due to spawn, but seemingly whatever he did, it worked very, very well. I think actually it was because he had more money and just didn't want to drop it, which I suppose is fair enough. But in this circumstance, the only weapons in play are the saved deagle and that FAMAS that Davkos already had. Team Spirit trying to make a round out of very, very little. And again, they seem to like sending more players over towards A in these sort of low buy rounds, which is understandable because stacking B, a lot of the times you already have 3 or 4 players on that site anyway, so it's basically like just saying we'll add one more. Whereas on the A side, a lot of teams even play it with only one. So doubling it down can make things a little bit more interesting. It looks like Starix is getting itchy feet, however. Looks to rotate away. The boost will actually pay off, and that is a second weapon. Although they've got to be careful because Fnatt is around the corner. Now he has an AWP, so if he goes down, it could get very interesting. Especially with Davkos on the rifle. But it's not going to happen. He'll manage to stay alive. He's searching to make sure that there's nobody else able to steal any of these weapons away. Which is a smart call. Don't want to be handing any free economy over to the CT side, especially when you consider, if you look at their money now, even in the next round their buy is going to be sketchy, so an extra rifle or two could really pay dividends for them.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, it's very weird looking at it, right? I mean, nothing seems to be going Team Spirit's way. Every decision they make in a lot of these rounds, especially when they get on the back foot, just seems to be the wrong one. We see that they rotate the players that were on B out towards the A-bomb site, and then QB.Fire make the right decision heading towards B. And it just seems like, you know, not only are they not getting a lot of information, but QB.Fire are extremely good at getting information. I mean, we see them, they spread out across the map, maintain map control in the early stages, and then they have players posted up at kind of all the major avenues of approach. So they can hear the rotates coming on in. The second they hear those players rotating off of B, they instantly execute towards the site, get control, and then shut down any possibility of Spirit doing anything. Now, admittedly, this round wasn't really too much of an investment coming in from Team Spirit. They only had that FAMAS and the deagle, as you said. And correctly, as you pointed out, the buy in this round is going to be well, you know, near on non-existent once again. I mean, you have what? One player who can really afford that. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. It's
here
beautiful.
We go. Sotfik on the XM, my favorite weapon in this game. Deemer on the Mag 7, which is a close second. Oh, I'm excited. If they get destroyed, I'm going to be very, very disappointed. I'm interested to know who's making the mid-round calls as well for QB.Fire. I think whoever's been doing that has been doing a very good job of actually reading the situation and picking which side to go to towards the end. Because they're definitely putting a lot into their rotations. This round at least. Slow push out. Goes flat. Dima is close with that Mag 7. Trying to just stay alive, and he's in behind and manages to go round. He's missing a few shots though. Gets one, gets two, looking for the third as well. Can't quite convert it, and it will be just an even split of kills so far.
Yeah, and Sotfik's made the decision just to hold off over towards drop. Hasn't pushed out yet. Quick's going to go to challenge him, and actually, Quick is going to go down in the process. Quickly equalized out of Starix, and then Sotfik next to follow. It all falls on a Davkos with the scout. He is a bit of a beast with this weapon. As he makes his way in, he finds the first. Okay, Undo going to go down. Now it's on to Balbina. 1v1, and the FAMAS picked up to try and take this engagement. Balbina just going to be holding the angle. The bomb timer taken away. He doesn't have a defuse it, so he's got to go in fast. That flash actually hits him fully, and then he will go down. Albina wins out that one at V1, gets himself the hat trick, and that's QB.Fire to pick themselves up 8-9th. And the general theme right now, Tom, seems to be, okay, does Davcost get a 3K at least? Yes, then they win the round.
Dima.
But,
I would say Dima.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. Did I say Davcost? I meant to say Dima. Yeah, sorry. Normally, it's because normally, you'd expect it to be Davcost. Yeah. But and also I read his name instead of Dima's. But yeah, no, it's does Dima get a 3K or more? And if the answer's no, if the answer's no, then that's it. Team Spirit, they lose the round. But this time, no time to discuss strats is already QB.Fire. That's gonna go charging in through mid, unbarred aggression. Not held back by anyone as Team Spirit. They've already relinquished full control of the A bomb site. Davcost is trapped over towards long with Starix. Starix on the Mag 7, not going to fare too well at this longer angle as they try and rain some death in. It's actually Selfie to find the first, the Mag 7 of his own. Up close over towards long. Undo going to be taking the engagement, trying to hold these guys back as they are going to get flanked from all sides and being shut down by this very weak buy. Dima quickly rains death from above and picks up 2 of his own. And that is going to be the round somehow going the way of Team Spirit.
Yeah, the problem with that round is because they don't clear out long, it means that they have nowhere to go in that ends portion of the round. Like, they took the site and then just had to sit on the site, and it just meant they were surrounded from every single angle. They didn't even have control of middle anymore. So, although the strat got them the bomb down very, very quickly, and if that had been some sort of eco round, great. They needed to take something back afterwards. It's like when you play something like Mirage, and say you know there's somebody flanking, you take CT. It's the same sort of premise here. If you lose a portion of the map or you don't take it initially, you then as a team need to go and take it back to make sure you have afterplants, and they didn't, and it just meant, okay, they're being attacked from every single angle once, and it just came down to who fragged better, and in that situation the CTs managed to get the first and just play off the numbers. Smart stuff from them, but mistakes made from QB.Fire. 9-5, still going to have a bye for the last round, but that has severely bolstered this CT economy, and Sophic, while he manages to get 1, but he's helped out a little bit on Tandu as Balbina. He gets 2, one of his own team.
Yeah, they're going to continue to execute out in towards the B1 site. Starix already rotated around to try and help out. Team are going to be doing damage on the site. Gets 2 somehow from an impossible situation. Turns into their advantage, and then Starix comes through at the end. Picks off Fanat Rocker, and that is going to be Team Spirit to pick themselves up a 6th round to their name. 9-6 at the end of the first half. Still 3 rounds the advantage of QB.Fire, but Team Spirit by no means out of this one just yet. A pistol round could be all that it takes to bring them back to a 9-9 scoreline. But I feel like we need to see, a couple of these players really step up. Coldy's someone that we look to normally have a strong performance. Davcost as well. Usually the big name that everyone kind of speaks about on Team Spirit.
18,
yeah,
11.
But I mean, it's only been Dima. That's the issue.
I think that scoreline was actually quite generous for them, really, because if you take out the fact that they win that double mag 7, like, flawless round in round number 14, and this is probably an 11-4 half, like, because they forced into that as well, so if they lose that round, they're not really going to have too much better in the next, so I think this was quite generous, a 9-6 to come out of it after the way that they performed. I think they should be quite happy with that, really. And then going on to the T side, I think it's a much better side for them, at least in the past, although we haven't seen too much for them with Starix, so hopefully, if anything, it should be better, but that's like putting together a dream team and saying it should work. It doesn't mean anything in practice until we see how it goes. Either way, A push, good luck quick.
Betting off a lot of players from Langos. Gets 2, should go down, and the trade comes in. 2 on one, gets 1. And well, into a 4-4. The rotate's already coming in out towards the A-bomb site. You've also got the aggression coming in from Albina down through mid to try and loop around behind these guys, and you could catch them off guard. It's a bit of a risky play. It leaves only 2 players now on the site to try and hold this back. And well, Coley's going to find the first. Fanat Rocker trying to hold these guys back with the USP, and he's going to fall as well as Dima rains in death up close. And now the flag comes in from Albina, but he's going to go down. Doesn't get anything done from that position, as Saltfake just pivots left and right to bid these guys good night. It will be Team Spirit to pick up the pistol, and now they could try and claw this back to a 9-9 scoreline.
$5-7 over CZ. Saying. That was just poor. He needed to get someone there. The meta buy, or at least what was, we'll see if it still works. 4 UMPs, 1 AK. We got the Dirty Deegs over on the other side. We've seen some absolute magic from them so far, more specifically Quick and Undo, but it's going to be a fast play. And this normally avoids the Deagles quite well, just running and gunning with these UMP smokes to go down. Looking like a similar situation to what we saw with the Mag 7s though, so we'll see if a similar situation occurs with QB.Fire with a lot of positions played, but look at the difference. Even before the bomb goes down, we see this T side taking control over towards long. However, the frag, so far at least, still going the way of this CT side.
Yeah, the last two players trapped over at long. Davkos going to turn away at the wrong time. Does find some good damage, but it's going to fall to the flank from Fnatic Rocker, and somehow QB.Fire can go ahead and steal a round straight back. Team Spirit now going to be suffering a bit in terms of their economy. They're going to be faced with the decision, do they force buy up now, try and take one straight back? Although they could alternatively wait one round and get the guaranteed buy. And I'm curious to see how they do go about doing this. I mean, they've got enough money to get the AK up on Colby, but that is going to be it. And it looks like they're going to go for the force, which, in a normal situation, I think I could definitely agree with and get behind. But at the same time, I feel like, would it have been better for them just to have guaranteed lost one round, give it to QB.Fire, and then buy up fully?
Yeah, no, I can understand it. A lot of it, I think, will be based off the fact that UMPs have just been picked up all across the board for QB.Fire, so I think that will actually help them quite a bit. It's definitely not as strong as it used to be. I think over towards that long spot where they have two players, if that was the old UMP with the range, they would have won that round. They had the map control, they had the positioning. It really was just down to the players on the site falling and not being able to shoot at range with that weapon. Either way, T-side looking to go for a faster play. Starix starts things off, and, well, now it is looking like it'll be those UMPs on the retake. The 1 AK on Bissmire already doing damage, and, well, trades galore so far. Over towards this chicken coop, they really need to get rid of him, but he's just trying to survive being sprayed down through the wall. We've come back to a 2 versus 2.
Quick dropping out one in this site. Coldy there to get the return. Puts it into the 1-on-1. Fnatic Rocker going to be the last player left alive here for QB.Fire. And well, Coldy has to play it around, has to pick that bomb up. Going to be making his way through the site. The UMP does do a bit of damage. He takes the repeat, but Coldy will shut him down. Clutches that out in the 1v2. And secures the round back for Team Spirit as we see the Force Buy Wars come in, just going back and forth. The buy going to be coming in from Team Spirit. I imagine we're going to see Coldy drop an AK over, but we might just see the rest of the guys buy up these UMPs. And it looks like QB.Fire aren't going to try and return with a force buy of their own. Instead, they're just going to part buy into this one, which should allow them to get a buy up next round. I think this is actually a nice way of doing it. They can get the buy up into the next one. They will have a couple of players who are limited in terms of utility or firepower. But I mean, still, with the P250s, with the Deagles, they can still do a boatload of damage into this round.
Yeah, and being on the CT side as well, it's much more important. Aggressive B push though. Dima still just doing work. Hits his 21st kill of the game. And quick. And Fnatic just sort of out of the action now. This is just farming time for the remaining players of Team Spirit. No armor on the other side, so those UMPs are ever more deadly. $600 per kill as well. Means they can make a decent amount of money. Fnatic Rocker playing very close though, maybe able to catch someone off guard. Obviously P250 at this sort of range, one shot to the head, that's all he needs, that's what he gets. Quick as well, trying to bait out the shots, but every single time that's extra $300, and considering their money situation, could be quite helpful. They will have a buy next round, but every little helps, every nade, every kill he gets is a smoke. Obviously he can only buy one, but if he gets two, then that's an incendiary, so could be a big difference. AWP can actually come in as well if they want it. Holdy on 7 grand. And actually, they don't even need it. Fnatic's gonna be buying one up as well, so yeah, decent amount of money. Holdy's actually on the other team, so that doesn't make any sense, but they can afford an AWP.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, how tired is he?
Very tired.
It's like, yeah, Coldy's on 7 grand,
He
and
can
he's also
afford
very
an AWP,
generous. Yeah, he's also in him drop that
not
for
wrong.
anyway. So Fnatic Rocker going to be heading over towards mid, misses that first shot, and now falls on back, rejoins quick within the site. It's Mai going to be playing up towards platform, and I think he spotted out Demon. That Demon just going to be tagged into the fire and flames, but no, takes him down and finds the opening frag for Team Spirit as they look to try and equalize this out 10-10. They have the man advantage early on. They're not going to be reacting to it, though, too much. You can see the bomb still waiting patiently over in mid. along with 2 other players for Spirit. You've actually got just Sophic and Dima over here towards B, biding their time, waiting to try and sell this push coming on in. They actually have kept 3 players here for QB.Fire. It's the solo hold of the A-bomb site from Fnatic Rocker. Right now he's pushed up all the way over towards Long. He's going to have 2 players to face off against, but he's going to be flashed on back. The bomb now rotating over towards B, and it looks like they're going to make the wrong call. No, it could actually be the right one, as Sophic going to pounce out, finds Balbina. They've rotated 1 player back over towards A, and everyone from QB.Fire looking extremely displaced and out of position. Not really sure where they think the bomb is going to be heading. And this is where it starts to fall apart for them. Dima's in the backline, finds one. Undo's going to be there to trade things back, but it's still a 2-on-3. Quickly turned into a 2-on-2 as Undo shutting this push down, making it impossible still for QB.Fire to stay in this round. The bomb going to be dropped out in the open. Fnatic Rocker's rotated in with the AWP and finds the frag on a Coley. Now falls on the Davkos with the UMP who's going to fall as Fnatic Rocker with the AWP comes on in at the end and picks up both of those frags. Somehow around the QB.Fire managed to stay in spite of being out of position, in spite of being forced off that B-bomb site very early on and losing the man advantage. They managed to claw it back.
Yeah, a round that probably shouldn't have been. It seemed like positionally, at least, Team Spirit looked better in almost all the situations. They snuck a player onto the B site before anybody over on the CT side even realized, but just a couple of decent individual plays has given QB.Fire a way back into this one. Looking like we're just going to see, however, a fast play once again. All 5 players gathered up, 4 players for the CT side. It will be a 9-man duel over towards B as the smokes begin to fall.
And they're going to be rushing on in. The wall of smokes is going to go down, but already Balbina and Quick, they're going to do damage between them, turning it on its head. And actually the damage can be done onto Davkos, who isn't looking too healthy all of a sudden. Coldly next to full. Starix is going to be putting in some work, at least, as he makes his way out in towards the site, but he doesn't have support from Davkos, who tagged down to 10 HP. Now makes his way over towards Plat, but it doesn't matter because Starix, he's doing all the damage he has to and more. Into the 1v2 we go. Going to boost up Davkos up on top of a tree to try and take this engagement. Fnatic Rocker is to watch out because Death could be raiding in from above. Isn't going to check the angle, sneaking onto the site. He actually spots him out, finds the first one with Davkos. Starix now to try and refight, but no, Fnatic Rocker, he's fast on his feet, and he gets the wombo combo. That's going to be QB.Fire to pick themselves up their 12th round. They keep winning these out, rounds that they should never, ever get in a million years on the back of individual skill and prowess on these players. And the pause is going to be called in now from Team Spirit. It's almost desperate at this point from them.
Yeah, the thing is that clutch shouldn't have been necessary, really, because you look at the 2v2 situation and the bomb is down, they have decent positions, and there wasn't really much. It was more Team Spirit who had to make the play. Instead, it's my who, well, if you look at the board, it's like, oh, look, 18 kills, 17, 17, 16, 6. He's having a bit of a nightmare, and it was proven in that round, but he just goes running in and actually hands the man advantage over towards his opposition, which was just mad. Like, it wasn't necessary at all. It was sort of him trying to make a play, maybe sort of the redemption of it's my, but it failed, and luckily for him, he's still got Fnatic Rocker to carry him through. Interested by this force spy coming in for the T side, because without a bomb plant, they don't really have a fight next round. 2,400 added onto what they have leaves maximum about 3,600 in their account, so really relying on them getting a bomb plant over towards B. But it's understandable because they dropped it down to just 1 player surviving. They know the CT side economy is low. However, they're to lose this round, things get sketchy.
And then we're pushing in towards B. Already Sophic's going down. That's the bomb out over towards Plat. And the damage being done. They all get executed within seconds, rushing through smokes and going down at the hands of Undo with that UMP as he pads those stats that little bit more. He's going to have plenty of money now to buy up. QB.Fire are just on fire at this point. They're looking phenomenal. And Team Spirit, well, they are going to be buying down on what they can, but it isn't much. I mean, they got 3 AKs up and play the UMP on Coldy, Davkos with a scout, but they've got no utility. And I mean, QB.Fire's positioning has been stellar. The crossfires they've had set up, I feel like utility is really the only chance that Team Spirit have to get back in this to try and flush these players out. And in absence of that, we're going to be looking for them to do it on aim alone. And that's, you know, not really been their strong point thus far. And already Fnatic Rocket will be picking up that first man. Starix goes down. No trade frag in sight. Already 3 players here for QB.Fire because the rotates have been on point. And now Team Spirit grinding to a halt, losing all this confidence in this bravado they had early on. Going to be falling on back. Not looking too keen now to go running into the waiting guns on that A-bomb site.
The great thing about the way they play these rotations as well is just the fact that not only do they have somebody rotating, but they then have somebody push up onto B plat as well. So they have information quick enough if they go rotating. It's just smart play. You lose control over to one point of the map, so you take it somewhere else. That's one way you have to play Cobble. The problem is Undo has since fallen back, but he is going to get the information for his team. And you can see he's just going to try and use his utility to just slow them down a little bit. Allow 3 players just to rotate back in before they even get towards this site. Again, just smart decision-making coming out from QB.Fire, and it leaves them with a 2v4 pushing into this site. Sophic will catch its Mire with a nade in hand. Holdy going to go pushing out, but Balbina with that trusty UMP is going to be able to do the damage, and now it's all onto Sophic. Not going to achieve anything in this round. 2 sort of weird force buys coming out for Team Spirit, neither of them with any real substance, and because of that, they've now lost 2 rounds, and I think it was, what, 3 or 4 players? 4 players both times surviving for QB.Fire, so they've pretty much got themselves an extra buy off that couple of rounds.
And this is where the situation gets tricky. They're going to have to go for the force, and
well, they
this
didn't
is a
have
weird
to.
one. Yeah. I mean, they could have played for the OT. They could have invested down.
I think they should have done.
Brought up some pistols, yeah. The issue is I don't really feel like Team Spirit's mentality is in the best place right now. Even in that last round, it was a buy that maybe they shouldn't have gone for. They would have had a full buy up into this round had they not gone for it. And well, look at this. Aggression out from mid. Quick, we'll get caught out in the open. Starrick's going to pick that one up, so they grab the man advantage. There's also a gun now out in mid for them to try and utilize, which will be picked up. I hope no one's going for it just yet. Yeah, there we go. Can be picked up by Sophic. So they grabbed the man advantage early on, but look at the aggression. Trying to come in from down long. Actually, it's Mire going to make the decision to fall on back. It wouldn't surprise me if we see them rotate an extra player over towards A. That's going to be Balbina. So, I mean, the rotate is very, very swift. They weren't going to rotate It's Mire, even though he was kind of that spare player, the one who wasn't in necessarily a preset location over towards B. Instead, they, go ahead and rotate the player that was in drop over towards the A-bomb. So, Fnatic Rock going to be fast on the rotate over here towards B. They know they've lost that man, so they may as well be a little bit loose with these rotates. And now as the wall of smokes comes into the site, it's going to cut the site in 2, allow Spirit to get up close with these pistols, try and take these closer range engagements. The smoke on the actual bomb site going to allow Undo just to hide in the mist, playing around with the UMP, going to pick up 2. Somehow he's still alive and kicking. Fnatic Rocket just going to push through the smoke as well with the AWP up close. Sophic's able to get 1, but now it all falls onto Davcost. 1v3 with a Deeg in hand. And well, he might be a magical man, but he's got to be a magician to pull this one off, and he does get 1. But no, then there's It's Mire to trade him out. QB.Fire to reach match point 9-15. The buy can come in from Spirit.
Wow.
Kind of. Yeah.
They've just been playing silly with their force. But I think this is looking more like as if they were the underdog and had to take ridiculous risks. We even saw it in the first half. Like when I was saying that they were lucky to get 6 rounds. They won off a Mag 7 force buy, and they did the same in the previous round with an XM and a Mag 7. I love those guns, I really do, but you only ever buy them if things aren't going right. And they've been doing these force buys all the way through the match, limiting themselves utility-wise, which, especially on the CT side, you can't do. You see these sort of situations where maybe if they have more utility to clear angles with Molotovs and stuff, that anything could happen in these sort of rounds, and it's just not looking good for them. This time, they're looking to go for this A hit. Pushing forward will be quick again. He's going to be taken down early in the round. Now Fnatic Rocket has to try and return. Ready Star is going to get another one. The AWP for this CT side is going to be doing damage. However, looking for more with that 5-7, pushing onto Davcost, but he can't achieve more. It's Mire quick on the rotation, and he needs to do far too much, and it's just not going to happen. Undo now left alone on this site, and he needs to survive. You look at the money. He's got 5,800, which will be increased by 1,400 going forward, which is a number. And he will, well, 7,200. But either way, he's going to be able to drop 1, maybe 2 if he can survive. And in fact, his money's going to increase even more because of that kill. So just wants to keep this into the next round. Make sure they have a purchase themselves. She could be doing a lot of damage as well. Like we've already spoken about the fact that Team Spirit haven't really been getting proper buys. That is not really about to change. They'll get the extra money from obviously the bomb going down and the bomb going off, but they're still going to have trouble getting all the utility, and they're going to have to drop at least a couple of weapons.
I mean, having Undo able to save there was so pivotal, because now it allows that 4x to come in, and it's going to be a strong one at that. I mean, he can actually drop 2 rifles over it. It looks like they're going to make the decision to only drop 1 and then just have Albina. Yeah, I know, me neither, because even with full utility, Undo still has 3,500 left. So, yeah, I mean, a bit of a curious decision, but maybe they know something we don't.
Or maybe they're just wrong.
Always a possibility.
Fnatic Rocker, aggression with the AWP. They're doing great so far, but he's not going to be able to connect that first shot. Does spot a couple of players, however. Goes to reposition, but now he's sort of in no man's land. This is a spot that you don't want to be in, and he is going to be lucky enough that nobody's watching that mid door. So he won't be trapped as of yet. Davkost has managed to get an AWP of his own, free from the last round. But obviously a must-win for Team Spirit, otherwise they will be heading into that lower bracket matchup, which it's a pretty brutal setup for the teams that lose their first match, because it's pretty much you lose 2, you're out. It's not really like any sort of safety net, and it's best of ones as well. So,
I mean, do you reckon Starix has given the fabled, okay, now we win, guys? Cool.
The great Hugo Byron strategy.
But
maybe he didn't come up with it. Maybe it was someone else, but Hugo.
They've already got 4 players over here, over in mid, and oh, okay, already Balbina's going to be going huge. Takes out Team and Starix, and this round's just fallen apart. And I believe, right, Davkost with a fancy flick does find 1, but he's still got so much damage left to do. Has to go ahead and get 4. He does take 2. Looking to get more done. But no, it's Mize going to be there to trade things out, and that's QB.Fire to pick this one up versus Team Spirit. I think this is going to be a bit of an upset, I honestly. You know, I mean, like you said earlier when we were speaking about it, we haven't really seen these teams play all that much, especially Team Spirit with that addition of Starix. But I mean, you know, I was expecting more. With someone like Starix in your roster, I was definitely expecting more to come out from them. And if anything, they look to not be performing as well as they did back when they had Kabakin.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the just sheer aggression we saw from them on the T side, like even the strategy I mentioned that they used to use, just where they had the sort of running aggression and they set up Davkost, that was gone. And even when I saw them play, I think it was versus K29, they were still using some basic strats, what these guys are good at. I wouldn't say Team Spirit have ever been a real tactical basis team. I think the one thing that's got them through is just being able to have that aggressive push, just hitting the headshots on the entry kills, getting that bomb down and playing after plants. Just fundamental CS, but we didn't really see too much of that. I think a lot of the time as well, they were overthinking things, like going for 4 spies to try and break the economy of their opponent, rather than focusing on their own game, which, if you are the favorite in a match, which they were, I don't think anybody can deny that, you should not be playing to constantly break your opponent and weaken them. You should have enough confidence in your own 4x that you can win the round. And they never did. I think on the T side, they maybe had 1 4x with the AWP. And that was towards the end. And that was because they won a round off a round that wasn't a 4x. It wasn't based off them saving or having like smart economy. It was off of them just getting a little bit lucky with the rifles and then being reset straight away.
Yeah, I mean, not only that. If you remember, actually, the one round that they did, that round that you're on about in particular, was the round that we saw that aggression come out over towards mid, and they were just handed that man advantage. So yeah, I mean, it was on the back of basically cockiness from QB.Fire, just trying to get the game over and done with, playing it a little bit aggressive,
cocky
and then
quick. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a go at him after. No, obviously, though, that is only match number 1 of today. Next up, we have Spartak versus Pro 100. Make sure you don't go anywhere. I'm really excited for this one because we're gonna see, well, mainly what Pro 100 could do. I want to know whether or not Zeus has trained them properly. Either way, we'll be back after a short break. Make sure you don't go anywhere.